I would just like to remind the previous speaker that 18 months ago, it was the Republican majority in this House that made a determination to bring this nation to its knees and to shut down the government because they would not raise a debt ceiling and were holding the government hostage and the nation hostage. And quite frankly, that's what they're doing again today. And this time, it is about tax relief for working families and for middle-class families. The duplicity is on the other side of the aisle, which always is trying to bring this body and this country to precipice. I rise in opposition to the House majority's tax plan. What it would do is raise its taxes on 25 million middle-class and working families. People with incomes below $250,000, their taxes would go up by $1,000 each. Why? In order to give another tax break to the rich. The New York Times article said just a few days ago, the Republicans will press to extend tax cuts for affluent families scheduled to expire on January 1st. But the same Republican tax plan would allow a series of tax cuts for the working poor and for the middle class to end next year. Washington Post said, and I quote, "Republicans want to raise taxes on the poor. Why? Why, indeed, in order to pay for an over $160,000 tax break for millionaires. The plan would slash the child tax credit, taking an average of $854 away from nearly 9 million families, pushing 2 million children back into poverty. It weakens the earned income tax credit, which kept 8.3. Will the gentlelady yield another minute?
I yield another minute.
I thank you.
Lady is recognized for an additional minute.
It weakens the earned income tax credit, which kept 8.3 million people out of poverty last year. This as poverty rates head toward the highest levels in nearly half a century. We all know there's a better way forward. The Senate has passed a plan supported by the President, which cuts taxes for 98% of Americans, 97% of the small businesses in the country. Rather than holding tax relief for the vast majority of American families and small businesses hostage to more tax cuts for the wealthiest 2%. Let us take up that Senate bill. I urge my colleagues to vote against the rule and this Republican reverse Robin Hood tax plan and support tax relief for the middle class.